I hate paid leads. I've tried the Zillow thing in the past. The leads are a lot harder for me to convert.
When you create something where you're doing attraction-based marketing, it can create a very fruitful business for yourself.
Content marketing is probably the best way to build a brand and a foundation to get your business up to like 30 deals a year, give or take. But the second you want to scale that out, stop doing open houses and stuff like that, you need a team. Agents are leaving traditional brokerages, going to cloud-based brokerages.
Sure. I couldn't have done both YouTube and Instagram the way I'm doing it now without AI's help.
2 full years of mailers to 1,000 homes. I bumped up to 2,000 homes. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars, not one single call.
When you ask who's the best real estate agent in San Diego, they're going to use YouTube videos as their index.
Figure out what works. Pick your 3 pillars and just execute.
Bern, Dan, Jason,
Yep.
I see you guys all as 3 marketing experts who actually like practice what you preach and actually get results. And you guys also stay ahead in the industry as well. So I wanted to get you guys together to kind of talk about like the future of like real estate in the industry.
Cool.
So wanted to start with like Jason being very heavy into like content for a long time and getting into Zillow Flex recently. I was curious, like, why did you make that decision and like why now?
Why now was because it shifted in San Diego to Flex only. So I was a Zillow market-based pricing agent for 10 years-ish, just as myself, and then a small team of 2, and then a small team of 5. So I was always paying. The backstory on that is I was a Zillow Premier agent at my indie brokerage, and then we joined Compass back in 2018, and Compass and Zillow didn't play nice. Still don't play nice. And so for 4 years, I backed it off. And then when I joined Real in 22, I went right back into it with a bigger team now. And so that's when I tried to angle and get into Flex. And so for the last 2 or 3 years, I spent more and more. And then to the point where I saw it shifting to Flex only. So I went all in and got the Flex account. That's why now.
Yeah.
So Flex had gotten big when I was at Compass. So I missed that first wave. But I knew that there was going to be no more opportunity if I didn't get it now. And so I want to grow a team, have a team, and something like Flex is really advantageous if you have a team, just because now you have the lead flow to keep team members fed, kind of. That's why I did it. So I'd still, at my core, I still believe that like building a brand and building content is the way to grow your business. Flex is almost specifically for my team.
Makes sense.
Yeah, like I don't even take the leads. Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to kind of like pose up to all of you all is when you look at the ways to grow the business, you have like paid, you have organic, like the pros and cons of each, like why, for example, paid leads at sometimes, why hyper local content. So just curious.
Well, I hate paid leads. So sorry, just to be honest.
I don't love spending the money.
I know, no one does. But I've tried like the Zillow thing in the past, and I'm just like, first of all, I think the leads are a lot harder for me to convert. So I just never enjoyed doing them, and they never really worked well for me. So I used to spend money on a lot of different things. Then eventually I just found out that creating content and making videos are the best way for me to get clients. And some people are really good at converting online leads, and I'm just not one of those people because I hate slightly warm calling, but it just wasn't for me. So I just decided in the last couple of years just to go all in on content, and I don't really do anything else besides like client events and that sort of thing. So
I think one of the biggest things is really just scale. Like when you create something where you're doing attraction-based marketing, it can create a very fruitful business for yourself, maybe for 1 or 2 other people. But going beyond that and actually having a lever that you can put up and down to be able to grow an actual business, it's incredibly difficult when it comes to content marketing. And so I think that's one of the biggest things. And then also like we all have teams, we've grown teams. Like what we don't want are to hire people that just want to create content.
yeah, for sure.
Because that is a very difficult team to manage. You want some killers out there that are willing to pick up the phone and make some calls. And when you have an actual lead source that is coming in consistently, then you can implement these, role plays and get their at bat so they have more opportunities to succeed. So that's kind of like my kind of what I've thought of since I started building a team is when you're looking to scale, the content marketing is great, but it's a tough thing to scale.
I'll agree with that. And here's the thing with content marketing too. And by the way, wherever you're watching this, content marketing is probably the best way to build a brand and a foundation to get your business up to like 30 deals a year, give or take. But the second you want to scale that out, stop doing open houses and stuff like that, you need a team. And to feed your team, the content marketing becomes difficult as your only lead generation source because those people who follow you on social and they want to work with you.
Yeah.
So they want you to show them the houses. They want you to set the open houses. And so you can't scale out when you're in content marketing as easily. Sure, you can build your team and introduce it. But with leads, Google pay-per-click, Zillow, I don't care, whatever type of paid leads, they're not exactly married to you per se. So you can then have a team work those leads while you continue to work your content marketing leads. Yeah.
I'm curious because you said something interesting. I'm sure you, I know Jason's kind of went through this because we talked about it too. Bring on agents to the team who just want to create content and like why that isn't the goal or sometimes could be a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to. I mean, I used to. Well, I still shoot videos with another agent on my team, but sometimes it's hard to get them to want to do it as much as you want to do it because it is still like your team. So trying to bring on someone separately that isn't really like the gatekeeper of all the leads you run into a little issues there. So you kind of want to be the face of the brand and everybody else is kind of under it, but it's also hard to bring in additional people to do that. So at least I've had a hard time with it. So
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, you have a formula with everything. So if it's getting leads from Zillow or from Facebook or whatever, there's a certain amount of calls that you need to make in order to convert. It's the same thing with making content. Is you need to put in, like, let's say you're doing the Instagram news videos, you need to do that at least 5 days a week. If you're doing a YouTube video, you need to do that at least 1 day a week and stay consistent long term. And I think a lot of people that come in wanting to do content, they have this kind of like dream scenario in their head that they could just kind of create a little bit of content here or there and they get all this business. But it is serious business, and you put in as many hours as you do with anything else. And most of the people that come forward saying, oh, we like making content, that's not like what they envision or what they end up doing full term.
The thing with a team, especially in scalability, is that with paid ads, you can also just turn the dial and get more.
Yes.
So like with content marketing or referrals, repeat referral business, which is what we all want, you don't know when those leads are coming in per se. If you shoot YouTube for 5 years or whatever, you may end up very happy with your outcome, but you may go months without a lead and then get a bunch in 1 month. Whereas with paid leads, it's like, okay, if I can convert it 7%, I know that if I spend $2,000, I'll get this amount of deals. And if I spend $4,000, I'll get this amount. So you can always scale it up and down a lot easier. I'll stand by that content marketing probably is the right way to build a foundation. And then you worry about paid leads later. But when you're building a team and you're trying to scale up, it does help to be able to just turn the dial when you need to turn the dial. Yeah.
So where are you guys spending, for example, on like paid currently? Zillow's one, but I was curious if there's like any others that you're looking at or doing too.
Zillow Flex is nice in this. I know we've talked about Zillow Flex for a lot, but I don't pay up front anymore. So that's another thing is I've freed up now $12,000 a month to then put back into the business. So then I can put that into video content marketing. We've done cooler listing videos this year and some things like that. I put more ad spend behind our Instagram now, and then Google pay-per-click is where we spend. So the outside of Zillow payment is Google pay-per-click. So we do those for leads. But then our content just got a little bit better. Our videos get a little bit better, and we get to spend more on the boosting or the reach of those videos now because we have more money to put behind it.
I don't pay for any pay-per-click or anything.
That money goes back into his bank account. That's what matters. Yeah.
I just make more content. That's all I do. So I probably should be because I know Dan's doing some pay-per-click type stuff too, but I have not done that. I need someone to do it for me. Can you do it for me?
Yeah. It's tough. It's really tough, and it takes a long time and a lot of money to figure out ROI on all that. And you learn the lessons the hard way when you're doing it. But the main ad spend that we have right now is our dial is like meta ads. So we're getting leads for our Living in San Diego book, and a couple dollars a pop. So we're able to get in 5 to 10 leads a day for our team, which is cool. It's just constant conversations. And then we're also doing some YouTube and Google ads for our geographic farm in Carlsbad.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
YouTube ads are still so underpriced and good, I feel like.
I don't know. They're getting up there for sure.
Do you run a separate channel?
I do.
Yeah,
yes.
that's what I thought. That
Just
was always
for the ads.
Just for the ads.
I know.
Although
the
You should ask
YouTubers.
him about the second channel more.
Well, I've always heard that.
it's always going through different things. Paul Wolfert, one of my good
Paul,
friends.
yes.
You guys know Paul. He's trying to convince me to put it all on my original channel because now I'm spread so thin, I'm not getting enough consistency on either. So the thought is maybe just put it all together. And he even thinks run the ads on that because people will see your ads, they'll see that you have 10,000 plus subscribers, and then that's instant credibility towards the person that
Because
has
if you
the
ran ads and
videos.
only had like 100 subscribers, they would not have the same. It makes sense.
The initial thought was that if you run ads, though, you're getting hollow views that then don't stick around for your other videos, which hurts the algorithm type thing? Was that the original?
It's a couple different things. It's hollow views. It's okay. So let's say my channel is about living in San Diego. So I want people outside of San Diego watching my videos and deciding to move to San Diego. The ads I would run would be to Carlsbad homeowners.
Yeah.
So it's two different audiences.
Yeah.
They're not going to stay on as long. They're not going to comment as much. They're not going to reshare. They're not going to share, save the video. They're not going to click on other my videos while they click on your page. And the question is that YouTube, I don't think directly answers is like, we know YouTube knows that those are paid ads.
Yep.
So are they actually changing my channel's metrics
Yeah, good point.
based on that or not? I don't know. But no one, since I've been in this industry, nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
So like, I've been waiting for someone to tell me because no one wants to
Well,
be
YouTube has
guinea
said that it does not hurt your channel to run ads to it, but
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Let's
straight up.
ChatGPT right now.
I remember that when
Short.
shorts came out, like all the big creators were creating separate channels for shorts, and then now
Because they thought it was
it's
for the
blended
channel.
together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I know YouTube's always, you guys are the YouTube guys, so like that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
I knew to ask because I knew that was the thing. If you're running ads, you need to do it on a separate channel. But it
Yeah.
sounds like maybe it's even coming back together too.
Sorry, you just it just gave me a flashback of that time you were asking me about YouTube.
If I could run stuff in vertical. By the way,
Vertical.
I actually,
15-minute videos.
hey, camera, I actually still think that might be a good idea because people watch on their
try it.
phones. People watch on their phones too. Anyways, I had the concept that what if I put 10-minute, 15-minute YouTube videos out in vertical because people already watch on their phones, and Dan laughed me off the planet. That was a terrible
Was this
idea.
pre-shorts or this was like maybe
This was
just after?
pre-shorts or like
I think
maybe
it
just
was
after, but
pre-shorts.
what's the max for shorts now? Is
3 minutes.
3 minutes?
It was 60 seconds.
60
for us.
now
Right now,
90.
right?
It's
Yeah.
60 seconds, yeah.
I think it's 3 minutes now, though, right?
They might have
they
raised
did
it to
I think
three.
they raised it up. Not too
Because the
long
problem is you would upload a like 50 or 60.5 seconds video, and then it wouldn't be a short.
Yeah.
it would go
upload
to a
as normal
post.
video. So I think they did fix that.
Yeah, I think it's 3 minutes.
Okay, wait. I have a question then, because Bern, you obviously we're talking about money, like where you're putting the money, and you don't do it, but you did shift your strategy from YouTube, and maybe you still do YouTube, but YouTube to hyperlocal Instagram content.
Yep.
Right. So you shifted your time allocation a little bit to there. Why that?
I wouldn't
Did you
say I
see
shifted time. I'm just doing more.
You're doing more.
video.
It's an and, not or.
I'm still definitely doing YouTube, and YouTube is still working better than Instagram.
Got it.
But now I feel like they're kind of working together because a lot of times people will find me on Instagram, then they'll search me, and then they'll see the YouTube channels, or vice versa.
Nice.
I had one client that came from, they've been following me on Instagram. They were looking for a 55 plus community for their parents. Then they found my YouTube video. I'm like, oh, this is the guy that does all the Instagram videos. So it's just, now I don't even really care where they come from.
Yeah.
It could be Instagram, it could be YouTube, it could be from TikTok, although my TikTok presence sucks. So I think it's just another layer that's going to come together and hopefully work together.
Got
So,
it. It was complimentary.
yeah. So I think now I'm asking people, like, it's 50-50 now. It's like, are you coming from Instagram or from YouTube? So just another layer, I think.
So Dan, do you have the Instagram coming soon? The hyperlocal green screens?
I'm doing it on my main channel
Yep.
right now. And so my consistency hasn't been there. Like I was supposed to do it today. I wasn't able to get there. And again, I know what the recipe is. Like you need to do it 5 days a week, and I haven't been able to get there, but
They're competing against each other now.
I can
Not
tell.
really.
County.
I need to, Bern was first on YouTube. I was second. He was first on the local channel. I'm like, all right, I'll just keep following Bern.
Let him test it
It's
and then
obvious.
just
He
pick up the.
thinks early
That's right.
on.
Coattails are hurting over
No, but
here.
it's wild. Like, I mean, in a month and a half, I almost doubled my followers on Instagram.
It's crazy how quickly you can actually grow if you
Yeah.
do it like consistently.
And like solid leads.
Yeah.
I got a $2 million Carlsbad buyer that literally emailed me on the walk-in
Nice.
here that we've already had a call from TikTok.
Oh, it's great.
And so it works for
Social
sure.
media works, folks.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Somebody tell us.
Crazy world.
So, yeah.
I'm curious though, bringing up Instagram, there's some people creating like the AI news content. I'm curious like what your guys' take on like AI versus human. Do you see there being like a blended mix, or do you see one being better than the other?
And answer with your hands like this.
I like it works in the sense that it allows you to scale and put out more content, right? Who's the guy in Jacksonville?
Josh Rogers.
Josh Rogers, right? So he's just doing a complete. I think Malcolm has a YouTube channel like that too, right? Where it's
He
just
was very early on.
Rosie,
Yeah.
where it's just extreme. It's just all AI, and so it allows you. I mean, theoretically, you could be putting out 5 pieces of content a day because you're not actually doing it. It's your avatar that's putting it out. So I think that there's probably a world where that's helpful because you can just put out more content every
Yeah.
single day. I don't know that that's necessarily the right way to do it
There's
because
a lot coming.
yeah, there's just like a level of authenticity. Like we always say people want to work with who they know, like, and trust. And so like if someone identifies or figures out that it's AI, or like then are you breaking the trust almost a little bit? And obviously we can explain that it just helps us scale, but I don't know. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years we start to see a little bit of a faction from consumers about, kind of like how we have like GMO free on our food, or like if we have like AI free, and like, hey, my business is AI free. And it's like, I don't do anything AI, and consumers seek that out because like they crave human interaction and they don't want to be AI'd anymore.
Yeah. Aren't they demonetizing ones that are doing straight
They might even be shutting them down, because I know in the very beginning, there were so many AI videos, not in real estate related, just AI videos on Instagram in particular, and then they all went away. So I think they're going to start asking you, like I know on YouTube for sure, they ask you if it was AI generated content or not.
Instagram too.
I think they started putting a little banner at the bottom.
Yep.
I do believe it's actually.
So I think we will go there.
It will be a negative eventually once people start figuring out. People want authentic.
Correct.
I mean, they say you be your authentic self, not a AI generated authentic self. So,
but here's the thing for me is like, Bern, when did we start doing YouTube? 21?
20? I started 2018, but.
Okay.
Who's counting?
Hey, who's counting? He's going to do it for 500 years. But in the beginning, like it would legitimately take me 10 hours a week to like come up with a video idea, script it out, record it, edit it, make the thumbnail, post it. And obviously we've gotten in our reps, so that helps.
Yeah.
But with AI, it allows us to cut that back like dramatically.
100%.
And then having the budget to outsource to some other people to do some editing or do other things as well. Yes. But I think that's why we're able to start to venture into other things like the news articles on Instagram to kind of bring it full picture, because like, 5 years ago, we wouldn't have had the capacity to do all that stuff.
No, that's too much. I mean, I couldn't have done both YouTube and Instagram the way I'm doing it now without AI's help.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, there's something we said about like the ChatGPT stuff and like, hey, give me 10 video ideas, break it down into a script, but then you shoot it, right? Yes. So AI assisting us, but like doing the content in AI, I'm not sure.
It's like having an assistant helping you generate content.
Well, here's the other thing too, is not just recording it yourself, but like, there's so many videos where I'm like reading through the script and I feel like I have the AI built pretty well to where it builds a good script. But especially like 1 in 4 or 5 videos, I almost completely rewrite the whole thing because it just doesn't sound natural as I'm saying it.
Yep.
So I think that is important too, that you're like actually putting your own voice in there.
Yeah,
agreed.
Well. I mean, people get mad when I put a fake background on the back of my
Do they?
I put like Coronado Bridge when NASCAR is coming to Coronado Bridge.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
With cars coming, I was like, oh, that was a cool image. Yeah. And the guy's like, is that AI? I'm like, yes, it's AI. I'm like, and they're like, it's like, this is terrible AI. I'm like, what? It's just a background.
It's a free Instagram
so
video.
Like, if I actually put my fake self up there in the video, I think people would just like crucify me.
Do you get less views with those though?
With the AI backgrounds?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Because it's real me. It's not like
yeah.
I've seen like the YouTube ones and those get like less views. The Instagram one seems like you can still get relatively around the same views. It's probably just because like doing an 8-minute AI video is really tough to make it sound like natural, personal.
Totally.
So now we'll say, and I'd be curious your guys' thoughts on this, or if you know anyone that's doing this. I think there's a massive opportunity for all the people that are doing the Instagram, especially the news style stuff, of doing paid advertisements of people that are watching those videos. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like a hardcore ad, but it could just literally be a carousel post of like you closing with your clients and then putting a little story about you and your clients. Just reminding them that you're in the business and that you're out there helping other people, I think would be huge opportunity to just actually get conversion from the people that already are starting to know, like, you. I've been saying that to Alyssa forever. Like, dude, like you have so many eyeballs. Now put a little bit of ad spend behind it and
get it. Doing that at all?
I don't know. She might. I don't know if she is now, but yeah.
No paid.
Yeah. Huge opportunity.
Kind of talking about that conversion, like I'm sure you guys see it, like the people who just create content and they sometimes just want to be famous versus the people who want to like create content for business results. I feel like there's like this huge gap, kind of like divide in the industry where some people just want to be famous through content. So I'm curious, like, what are your guys' takes? And then also, like, what do you see as actually working to get the business versus, like, the people who might just be going for fame?
Well, I'm not dancing in my videos. So that's one thing. So all my content is I just try to put out valuable content for clients for people that potentially want to buy or sell in San Diego. So that's literally my whole content strategy. So I don't care about, how many followers there's as long as I get clients and and closings from it. So I think if you're just trying to be famous, I don't think it's really going to work as well.
Sharon always says that fame is the most efficient business model.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So, but that being said, I mean, he's talking Ryan Serhant, right? People who are actually famous. And so I think that there is something to be said about promoting yourself and putting yourself out there. But when you do it just to, I don't know, I've always hated like the look at me content, which is like here's how many houses I've sold. Here's how many, like, because it's not about us, it's about the client, right? So like the just sold post is dumb, but here's the story of Mike and Christine, how they sold their house in Pacific Beach so they can move to Boise. Those are great. So like, but you're also still showcasing that you sold the house. So there is a way to do it without it being kind of annoying. And then also like, I think sometimes people are doing it to then sell coaching or sell something else that's not client related. And that can be going back to know, like, and trust you. That's a quick way to get people not to like you. Right. So like, if you can do it in a way that people like you, that's fine. But if you're doing it just to sell coaching or just to show how good you are, because you need to feed your ego, it's eventually going to come toppling down.
Feels like every agent kind of wants to become a coach. Create a community.
I am one, and I don't.
Every agent,
I don't know that.
Every agent wants to get out of production.
A lot.
100%. It's a shortcut out of production.
I agree with that one.
Yeah, it's a shortcut out of production.
A lot want to get into coach. A lot who get into content want to get into coaching or build a school community, stuff like that. It's starting to become the popular, cool thing to do.
I think it's been around for a while. There's just more routes you can go about doing it. But as far as like the famous thing, I think Jason, that was a really good point. Like, I guess I could see both sides, because to a certain degree, like there are people that we're all envious of that like get a massive amount of eyeballs, and that's turned it into a ton of business, whether it's real estate or other opportunities as well. But we also, the three of us, know plenty of people that we've talked to over the years are like, you see that they're getting a lot of eyeballs and you talk to them in person, like, I literally don't get any leads.
Yeah.
And so like, I think there is something to be said about if you really know what your focus is going to be. Like me personally, I'm trying to niche down into a smaller geographic area so that I could be the expert of that area. And I see more long-term opportunity there of having a much higher share of that smaller market. But yeah, I don't know, it could go both ways, but I think for most people, like niching down is niche is the word. So niche
I do
down.
think the more people that know who you are, the more business you should theoretically get.
You two are a great example of that. I would say that you're famous locally on YouTube and Instagram, right? In a sense, on like a D-list celebrity, but you guys are more famous, but you did it.
He just called you.
You guys did it that way. And so you guys actually put out content about yourself and about your local communities, and then you became famous, and that's gotten you hundreds of $1 millions of business. So like but I think what you're talking about, Andrew, is basically the people who are just like, look at me within the industry, right? Where it's like, then you're just appealing to other agents or you're appealing to whatever,
and
right?
You build an agent audience and you don't have consumers.
That's the one piece of content I don't create is agent facing content. Like
I do, and I don't know, but I wouldn't recommend it to anybody else. I say that all the time, is if you're just starting out, you need to do what they're doing, not what I'm doing. Like that's been over the course of 10 years because of friendships and relationships that I made in the agent space that actually didn't even really pay out till 4 or 5 years ago.
Like how much referrals do you get per year?
A lot of my business is only referral business. Yeah, it's only repeat referral business. And then now with Real, there's an agent attraction piece. There's all kinds of like ancillaries, but it takes so long. It's like that hockey stick, and it takes 10 years and then it takes off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By the time the other agents see your social proof and then they latch in. But if you're trying to close client business, you should be doing it their way, but also being famous in a different way locally.
Yeah, I think one of the best examples, I don't know if you guys watch like Hermosi's shift in content. Like he went very broad, and then he started doing content about like protein shakes, stuff like that. And then he's like, I'm just going to switch to business because those are the actual people that we want as like clients. It's the same way as like real estate.
Totally.
It's like you can go entertainment based content, or you can make information hyper local.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I do.
So curious what you guys think. Where's the future of real estate going in the next like 5-10 years? Like when it comes to like agent models, team models, brokerage models, and like how to actually structure your business.
All right, Mr. Agent facing over there. You want to start that?
No, I mean, if you look at Mike Del Preti's like agent migration trends, agents are leaving traditional brokerages, going to cloud-based brokerages.
Sure.
That's just the overwhelming arch of where people are moving. And I think the way of business the last 40 years is you went to a brokerage, they provided you with an office and an MLS and a thing and a this, and you paid them 50%, right?
Yeah.
And then over the last 20 or 30 years, teams kind of became popular. The agent commission compressions went down. So like you got more, the agent gets more of the split. And then so brokerages became very unprofitable because they were getting 50, now they're getting 10. but they still have to provide all this stuff. And so then insert the cloud-based models or the flat fee models or whatever. But the cloud-based models come in and it's like, hey, agent, come over here, park your business here, keep as much money as you possibly can, give or take, whatever everybody's a little bit different, but keep as much money as you possibly can and then run the business however you want. And so we can still provide you most of the support. You don't have offices. That's kind of the cloud-based thing. But you still get to run the business the way you want to run it, and you keep the rest and you put it back into your business however you want. You want to buy Zillow, great. You want to do YouTube, you want to do Instagram, do it however you want. So I think that the statistics are kind of speaking for themselves, that teams are still doing really well, and cloud-based models are going to be winning or have been winning for the last 3 to 5 years. Probably will continue that way. Doesn't mean it's the death of the traditional brokerage. I just think that the margins are thinner and thinner and thinner. And so if that continues to a certain point, eventually margins will be zero and brokerages will go out of business if they don't pivot.
Do you think that brokerages will start merging and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or?
Oh, yeah.
Consolidation.
Either changing their model, right, where you see maybe, I know Keller Williams always already offers like caps and stuff like that. And then maybe, the bigger brands like a Coldwell Banker, Remax. It's weird because a lot of those are franchised too. And so like the franchises may run differently than the mothership, so to speak. But I think you're going to see brands getting bought. We already are. Compass bought Christie's, that Properties, Ladder and Blum. Like you're seeing all kinds of acquisitions from Compass. And then business models will change. And I don't know if that means, Coldwell Banker puts a cap in at some point or something, but they have to switch in order to keep the agents, because otherwise the agents are voting with their feet and they're moving.
Yeah.
Are they all, you know more about this than I do, are they all losing agents, like the bigger brokerages?
Yeah. Compass is the only one that grew of the traditional model, and that's only because they bought. So they acquired Christie's at Properties and Ladder and Blum, and so their agent count went up through acquisition. Real, EXP, LPT, Fathom, like the cloud-based models all went up. I guess you could say organically. We technically offer revenue share, so you could say that there's, but it's organically in the sense that there was no acquisitions to it. So yeah.
Well, and even before that, Compass acquisitions were for team leaders.
Yeah.
To build it that way.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. Obviously the three of us over here are going to say cloud-based
this is the biased
brokerages
panel.
are the future for most agents. But I think one of the bigger pieces that you had mentioned as well is the importance of teams is going to become more and more important, because like in this new day and age, you're expected to do everything.
Yep.
And there's so much that like you just as an individual agent aren't going to be able to do to compete with other teams. So I think it's going to be more and more important, especially starting out, to join a team so that you have everything that they offer to support your clients and get leads.
I would venture to say, if you're selling under 5 houses a year, 10 houses a year, the brokerage doesn't matter. You just get on a team.
100%. Sure.
So like, and as if margins really do compress and traditional brokerages have to stop offering what they had been offering, which was accountability, training, support, stuff like that, the agents need to go somewhere for the training. So that's where the teams would probably come in, right? It's like then the new agents need to join teams. That's why I think teams will probably dominate.
Do you have an email database, but you struggle staying consistent with your email marketing? Email marketing is still one of the most under-leveraged marketing platforms, yet it has the highest return on investment. For every dollar you spend, you get 36 to 1 ROI. So if you want to profit more from your marketing, you need a local email newsletter. So that's why we created the local email newsletter playbook that breaks down Ryan Snaden's entire Naptown Scoop playbook and how he built it from 0 to 30,000 email subscribers and makes over $320,000 every single year. It breaks down his entire strategy, and not just for his local newsletter, but also how he grew the media company to over $500,000 every single year. It goes through his content strategy, how he grew. It goes through his entire team, how he hires, his monetization, everything. So if you want the $320,000 local email newsletter playbook, click the link in the description below. Download it now. It's completely free. It has over 21 pages behind how he built his entire media company. So click the link in the description and download now.
Going back a little on that was I had a conversation with Melissa Sophia. She's up in the area, and she talked about, based off the brokerage that you pick, you're kind of choosing your business model in a way.
Sure.
So like example, sometimes when you get in the cloud-based EXP, Real, etc., you're choosing a model that generally lends itself better for like recruiting and having more.
Recruiting to your team?
Yeah, recruiting to your team, recruiting just in general. And that's the way to like grow, is just recruiting potentially for headcount versus like some other models lend itself a little more to like having, we'll use words of like having less agents that do more. So I'm curious what you guys think on like different brokerages being better for different models, or like you kind of put yourself in a place sometimes.
I'm looking at you and I can feel Jason wanting to speak over there.
No, you got to jump in there. I feel like that's more on the team.
Yeah.
Like I would venture to say that Dan, I don't know, Bern, your team members. I'd venture to say that Dan's team of 4, right? Six outproduces some other people's teams of 30, right? Like on a per agent basis. So I just think it's maybe more about the team, not the brokerage. The cloud-based brokerage has the recruiting arm for the agent attraction piece, like the revenue share. But both EXP and Real, I think only like 11% of both companies actually have one person in their network. Like 90% of both companies don't actually like recruit. I think EXP specifically has a bigger stigma about like recruity. Most brokerages, or most of those brokerages, actually don't do attraction, revenue share, and stuff like that. So I think she's conflating brokerage to team, and I think team just becomes a choice. Like if you have a Zillow Flex account, you need to have as many heads as possible. So your head count or your per agent productivity is usually lower than like a small team that does it through organic. But so I would say I would put Dan's team up against a ton of other big teams, and we're at the same brokerage. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's brokerage specific. Like if she's saying that, I think it's probably more team specific. So maybe her team, she focuses on keeping the head count low with high producers, which shout out to her. That's the goal. Like if you can, you know what I mean? Especially if you have like office space and you give a lot to your team, I would prefer to have 6 top producers versus 61 person, one deal a year people for sure.
Yeah.
I think the sport is big too. So when I started in this industry, I was told to go to Keller Williams for their training. Their training program.
Bold, baby.
And I'm definitely not trying to put them down, but my personal experience went to go sit in on a training was literally a 15-minute session where an agent at their office that never really did a lot of business trained it. It was the trainer in this session. The 15 minutes consisted of watching a clip from Braveheart, and they gave us each a full sheet of paper with the definition of the word brave on it. And that was literally the entirety of the training. I was like, this is crazy.
I really like Braveheart though. So
I do. And again, I don't want to put them down because I know that was like one office I went to and one experience, but that I think is the problem. You can't have a consistent experience when you're just getting taught from someone in one location, whereas what you can get from these digital models, which I think is really crazy unique, is I came over and I was really interested in YouTube and in content creation. And so I'm literally able to learn from the top people across the country in my brokerage. They're going online and doing masterminds together, as opposed to feeling like you're a small fish or a big fish in a small pond. You can feel like you're a small fish in a big pond, learn from the best, network with the best. And then we have that available for everyone. So as a team leader, I don't just have to train agents myself. I can show them, hey, here are these 5, 10, 15, 20 different trainings within our academy taught by some of the best agents across the country that they can learn from. So I think it really depends on what type of support that you want. And this is all getting completely away from all the other financial incentives that you can have at our brokerage as well. So and not just ours, just cloud-based in general.
Well, that was a big reason why we joined Real too, because we were talking like we wanted to be around people that are doing YouTube or just video at a high level. And when I was at Compass, I mean, there are some people that did video, you were doing it, but for overall, most people were fairly traditional and they didn't do to the level that I wanted to do it. So I felt it wasn't like a good spot for me. So
makes sense. Curious what you guys think. There's a stat around like there's 1.5 million agents right now, roughly, doing about 4 million rough deals. Back in the 70s, there was about 400,000 agents doing about 4 million deals. And Guy Gal, CEO of Side, had a take on it. It's like, we don't need this many agents for the amount of attractions. And
I agree.
There should be like a little squeeze out.
Well, I'll give you one more stat and they'll let you go into this. San Diego County, 30,000 agents? Yep. There's been 25,000 sales so far this year.
Less than one per agent. Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. I think every real estate agent that's in the business, doing business right now, probably agrees with that. Like, Jesus, like 80% of the people we run into every day, we're like, why are you in this business?
Are you doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
I think they should make it a lot harder to become a real estate agent. I think that would be great. But obviously, all the associations make money by age, that sort of thing. So it's a very hard thing to make it happen.
It's also hard to really figure out, all right, 30,000 agents in San Diego. How many of them are actually trying to be full-time agents?
Not probably less than 1,000.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
So
they're like-
it's hard when you are looking at all these numbers to put it in perspective, because like some of them are, maybe they're a parent and they literally just want to sell 1 or 2 homes a year to their
and
friends.
that's cool. That's fine.
I'm curious about, like, do you guys think about like the changing model of like revenue and like earning, like different ways to earn more dollars? Or like some people like ask, for example, Alex Hermosi, like, how could I as an agent bring the dollar forward instead of bring it backwards? Just curious if you guys are thinking through like that, or if that even comes across like your radar right now.
Tomorrow in the real estate transaction.
Can you go into a little more detail on?
Yeah. So like when you're, I should probably phrase it differently, like building a business, sometimes you think about how could I earn like a little extra, whether it's mortgage, title,
revenue sources.
others, different revenue sources, thinking through like how can we add to the business in a way. And I'm just curious if you guys are thinking about that, or if you just think about like, here's where things are going, like the team or should maybe have other things in the business.
I should, but I probably haven't given as much thought as I should.
Yeah, I think from an agent's perspective, the brokerage arm of what we do is probably the lion's share of how we make our money. But then there's 82 other ancillary ways to make money, right? Whether it's JVs with the escrow company or get your mortgage license or what all that stuff. I think it's quick and easy to like get distracted by the other ancillaries too, especially like when you could, start coaching or like we talked about selling a course. When it comes down to it though, I think that the sales aspect should be the lion's share of what your business is. Everything else will kind of fall into place based off of that. The one thing would be like team growth. It's like you start giving away some of your business into team, but then you get your time back. So it's like a trade-off of time. So that's where I'm thinking there is like, I'm going to give up some of my GCI, but I get my time back. And so that's a fair trade I'm willing to take. Outside of that, everything else becomes kind of a distraction. Now from the brokerage world, like Real or like a Compass or whatever, the brokerage is actually the thinnest margin of their entire P&L. So they're trying to get us to also then use their title and escrow and mortgage and services because that's how they have to grow their business. But as the agent, whoever's watching this probably just keep the main thing and keep focused on selling more houses, or then maybe growing a team and getting your time back. But yeah.
So I think this is a really interesting topic because it allows us the opportunity to go from just being a real estate agent to thinking like a business person. I think that's a really great conversation to have. I love talking about this stuff and thinking about it. One of the challenges that I think all of us and just people in general in San Diego have is we're a high price point market, which means we're doing fewer deals per agent.
Yeah.
And so like in order, like the numbers I think I've heard of, and I could be wrong on this, for break even to have like my own mortgage company is like 50 annual transactions. That's $50 million in annual sales, which is a lot of money. And so, and that's just break even. And so in order for those things to work out, I think if you're in a market where you're selling $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 homes, and you're easily doing 50 to 100 deals a year, now you have a lot more opportunities on different routes to go. I also think it's really cool when like BAM had Amy Stockburger. That was like a huge eye opener for me.
Client for Life program.
Client for Life. So like she's monetized everything. Yeah. So like she has 2 or 3 moving trucks that is 100% paid for by advertisers that go on the truck. So it's like a local pizza shop. Her title, like I don't know the exact companies. It's like she has like 8 different advertisement slots on that. She puts them all on the back of the truck, and that pays for the truck. So now she gets that for free. Now she has like I think she has like over 100 local advertisers that she advertises to her clients, and that earns her another couple $100,000 a year. And so yeah, I think you could totally think like a business person. And maybe this is a cop-out, but I think in our market, it's a little bit tougher because if you're a great agent, you're doing 20 deals a year.
Yeah.
And so the numbers, it's really hard for the numbers to make sense here just because of the pure fact that we're doing a smaller number of transactions.
True. So are you thinking about the Client for Life program for you?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, like we're not there yet. We're not going to sell 50 homes this year. But down the line, 100%. Yeah.
That's what it takes is a number of transactions to be able to sell
you
that.
just need more at-bats. Yeah, exactly.
You need more at-bats. And if you're going to sell advertising to different companies, you have to say, hey, well, we sell X amount of homes each year. You're going to get this much exposure. So if you don't have that exposure, then why would they want to spend good money to advertise with you?
That brings up a kind of like tangential opportunity of like, there's a lot of people who build media and then they think about selling advertisements through the media. Like, have you guys thought of that, or like, what are your thoughts around that?
That's not the business path I've chosen. You know what I mean? I wish that maybe I had done it 10 years ago and instead of being a real estate agent, who knows? Like, but if you look at Bill Simmons, right? He created his entire podcast network and he had the Bill Simmons podcast at the center of it, but then he sold The Ringer and like all the stuff that goes around it. Now he runs a media company. BAM, Eric Simon was the broke agent, and then he created BAM, and now he's got this media company that does podcasts and sells advertising space. I got to sell houses. You know, that's the other thing is I'm still in production too. So I'm trying to slang houses. I don't have time to I figure that out. And that already is a whole nother business on top of your business, on top of maybe agent attraction, on top of running a team. There's no time.
I would actually like to run a media business.
That'd be amazing.
So, I actually enjoy that part of it. That's kind of like my favorite part, creating content, creating things that people want to read about, watch, all that good stuff. So it is always been kind of in the back of my mind that would be part of it. It's sort of like how Ken does his Orlando Real project. So that in a perfect world, yes, I would like to be able to do that.
Wouldn't you like to go back 15 years and do it then? Right?
Yes,
like that's what I mean. It's like now that we're real estate agents and we're established and we have, 25 clients a year, 50 clients a year, we have to help. We don't have time to do that. No. Or you just named one person in the world that I can think of that did it that way.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And so maybe we
and
go
he has a
compose
whole
that
team around doing it. So you can't do it by yourself.
It can be done. It has happened one time. Like he set the blueprint. You know what I mean?
But he also, if you look at like his model with the Orlando Real, like he's monetizing it through real estate mortgage title. Mm-hmm. He isn't selling ads.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah,
it's different. Yeah.
So
I mean, he's gotten lucky in a lot of ways, and he's a phenomenal agent and just leader in general in a lot of other ways. That like when you look behind the scenes, all the things he's doing, it's incredible. But also, not to take anything away from him, he's in a market that like has a ton of relocations. Will always have a ton of relocations, and that alone just makes it a goldmine opportunity for him, especially when he got started. So he's been able to kind of like use that momentum to build what he's already really naturally good at and excels at, which is, at a much higher level than the rest of us.
Shout out to Ken.
Shout out to Ken, the man.
Really quickly, before we get back into the episode, did you know that email beats the ROI of social media 40-1? If you want to turn your email list into more listing appointments, then you need to check out Ella. Ella is the only email marketing agency for real estate agents. We help you build a hyper-local email newsletter. We also send conversation starter emails, and we do way more. So you can turn your email into a profitable marketing channel this year. Click the link below. Check it out. Hope to see you in there. Let's get back to the episode.
When you look at like AI, like where it's going to disrupt, how it's going to disrupt, it's, as we kind of talked about, it's more going to like help from a leverage perspective and increase capacity. But you could see tech, AI, et cetera, coming in potentially at like a national scale and kind of changing how some business is done, but it's not going to change local. And that's where like the conversation around having that hyper local brand is like super important, or like building a hyper local, like whatever business. Curious what you guys are thinking in the next like 5 to 10 years when you look at like what you want to build, how to kind of stay ahead of the curve and like not like tune out any form of like tech disruption, but like build something that will last long regardless.
I think it's hard to look. I mean, even just looking at the real estate industry, the market, what's going to happen in 6 months, let alone what's going to happen with, I think actually a part of that is like not understanding where AI is going to go.
Yeah.
A part of it feels like it's happening so fast. And the other part of it's like, what, the original ChatGPT was released almost 3 years ago now? Like 2 years ago?
Probably it was like 2.
So like it happened really quick, and then like we had this growth really fast, and then ChatGPT 5 is released. Someone's like, well, that sucked. So now it's like, are we already at that point of like, kind of like incremental, so
sort of when an iPhone came out, it was like really big in the changes.
You see, they're talking about completely revamping the iPhone.
Really?
Yeah,
because the 0 to 1 portion was life-changing, world-changing.
0
but
to
then
5, really.
But then 1 to 2, 2 to 3 were just incrementals.
But here's what I think is the most important thing to focus on as an agent is like not what's going to happen in the future, because I'm not as smart as like Sharon, who's talking about here's what you guys need to be doing for like for really building a business and what's going on right now. Is like what Jason we were talking about earlier. Is like just using these tools and getting good at using these tools to the point where any creative idea you have no excuse not to execute on. Because you could literally go into ChatGPT or Grok or whatever and turn your idea from a concept into like a full formed idea in a very short period of time. You could go in your car while you're driving and role play with ChatGPT, or like talk through these like complex ideas that you have to get, much closer to the finish line. So yeah, I think using the tools as much as you can right now to not do all the work for you, but allow your creativity and your ideas to come through faster. I think that's really the biggest opportunities that we have right now.
So if people want to go follow you guys, where should they go and follow?
Go to Zillow. No, just you can find me online, Jason Cassidy, Cassity. My Instagram will pop up and I'll DM you right back. It's always me.
Yeah, Instagram probably is the easiest one to connect. Bern McGovern. There's not too many of me, so easy to find there.
Instagram also, Dan Parker. There's a million of me. So Dan P. Best Life SD.
So when you think about like where you're investing and where you're not investing in the next like 1 to 3 years, where in your business are you guys like going all in or pulling back?
Monetarily or time wise?
Either.
Both.
You can talk about any. Yeah.
Yeah, I think monetarily, obviously we're building out the Zillow Flex portion of our business, but even that aside, our video content, I'm trying to just put video content out somewhat consistently, mostly to stay in touch with the people who already follow me and then my sphere, much more than like acquire new, right? Like if you notice, like we're never really putting out like skits per se, or like stuff that could go viral or be funny. I tried the hyperlocal newsreel stuff and I just couldn't do it. Like consistently, consistency has always been my biggest thing. It's like, that's probably actually the right way to like get virality now in this moment in time. Whenever you're watching this is 2025, but so you get the virality now from the green screen news articles and stuff that you're going to grow fastest there. Literally the video content we're putting into right now is basically just to stay top of mind to my sphere and the current followers that I have. In the agent space, and that's what we're going to be pouring into probably for the next year or so. Yeah,
and I'm still going to keep putting out content. I do try to stay ahead of like the trend. So if I see a trend, I try to jump on it. If I know I can do it consistently, like YouTube, like I never did Instagram because I didn't want to just like, I hate doing stories, quite frankly. You guys are good at doing stories. It's just like, but the green screen videos, which will probably fade out eventually too. People will get tired of it.
It'll change though, and you'll lead the new charge. Yeah.
But like green screen videos, I knew I could do them. I could do them fast, and I could put out consistently. So I'm just going to continue to do that, and keep doing YouTube, because YouTube I feel like is still the best platform to get clients long term and quickly. I think there was a stat that's showing how many agents are actually on YouTube versus Facebook versus Instagram. And I think they said 2% was YouTube, and like Instagram was like 40 to 50% or something like that.
Facebook, Instagram, 50-50.
People think that YouTube is oversaturated. There's only 2% of people on it. And yes, maybe you won't get as many leads as we did back in the COVID, but any kind of lead platform isn't getting as many leads as they used to during COVID times.
Yeah.
So
but the LLMs use YouTube as index. So I would continue putting out YouTube.
There you go.
Because the LLMs, when you ask who's the best real estate agent in San Diego, they're going to use YouTube videos as their index. So continue doing that.
Yeah. Didn't you just see that?
I sent him a photo because I was doing research on ChatGPT and it pulled up one of the sources was Bern's.
That's right.
Video, article,
so just keep putting out content, whatever it is. So
Yeah. I think it pulls like 40 or 80 times more data from YouTube.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and one last thing, what I'm going to do less of is probably mailers, because I've been doing mailers consistently for like, I don't know, it's been like 2.5 years or something, like newsletters to my farm. And it's also my turnover rate is super low, but I've seen very little. I spent a lot of money on it and not a lot of return on it compared to the videos.
Two full years of mailers to 1,000 homes. I bumped up to 2,000 homes. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars, not one single call.
Ooh,
and they were so good.
Yeah. And the thing is, once you stop doing those, it's over.
Yeah.
But with video, they just
you
live on and live on and live on. So it's just like, it's hard to see the return. Anyways, your turn.
No, it's all good. I mean, I think it's just the same as it's always been in some ways, where like, figure out what works. See like a play that works and run that play. And so whether that's news videos, whether that's making specific type of content on Instagram, whether that's door knocking, holding open houses, like figure out what your plan is and figure out what that consistency needs to be and be consistent. And so that's really what we're doing is like you pick your 3 pillars. This is what we teach everyone on our team. Pick your 3 pillars, know where you want to be, figure out what that cadence needs to be to have success in those 3 pillars, and just execute. And so we're really just trying to like hone back on distractions and focus on the things that we've, promised ourselves that we're going to focus on.